This afternoon, I was having a discussion with a gentleman from UNCTAD, James, about something very important that we are doing today, that is launching the report on diversification of global supply chain. And he told me that the drivers for this diversification is, one, the geopolitical issues that we're having around COVID, around Ukraine and the war. And of course, the green transition, and the third one being technology. And I told him, James, there's a fourth one which is missing. And why it is missing is because we've not been part of, we have been on the menu, as His Excellency has said. The whole thing of opportunity. Today, if we diversify our supply chain, and Kenya is leading that with our industrial spaces, with our export zones, with our special economic zone, it's not just to diversify supply chain for the North, but actually the biggest incentive for us is the opportunity. The opportunity that within our markets, our regional markets, our continental markets, even before we become a supplier to other regions, we are going to supply that to ourselves. And so the issue of the payments, Pan-African payment architecture that is suitable for Africa becomes very, very, very important. In my previous life, I was a member of parliament. And when I look at this whole discussion on the fairness in climate issues and finance, I sometimes think we should have passed a law. I should have passed a law to say, if you pollute your own air. Yeah? Then the other person can pollute their own air. But unfortunately, it's not possible. Because the environment, we share all of us. And His Excellency is talking about the whole thing of the fossils and the contribution from those people. Perhaps, and I've challenged him many times because he's our voice in this continent on this issue, maybe we should consider coming up with something called OGEC. I like to call it OGEC. Because you have got OPEC for the petroleum people. Shouldn't we have OGEC for the green? So that we can have organization of the green exporting countries. So that costing, the balance sheet issues that His Excellency is talking about, can have a voice so that as they meet in Vienna to talk about the fossils, maybe we can be meeting in Nairobi to say this is a cost and this is a valuation of our green assets. Finally, let me touch on the whole issue of pricing, and I'm speaking now as a former banker. Your Excellency, I was having a conversation with the World Bank last week, and they sent me to you, and they said, ask the President to be a little bit magnanimous and generous, and not fall into the temptation of being selfish. And I asked them why. They said, by our own definition, the best credit score in the Republic of Kenya is a credit score that has been generated by the Hustler Fund. And I said, can you ask the President to see, is there any way the credit scores coming from the Hustler Fund can be used universally by everybody, including banks? Because for me, this was a little bit surprising, because World Bank, with its many years of experience working even with you guys in financial institutions, did admit that the true credit score for the Republic of Kenya is on something that is barely 6 months old. And that, to me, is a serious indictment of the way we price risk, both domestically, and maybe if you could be generous and allow World Bank and these banks to use the credit scores coming from the Hustler Fund, maybe we need to give it to the international financial architecture. Maybe you're asking for a solution and we have the solution. Thank you, Excellency.
Thank you.